Today we are making it fast and shiny. A customer of my pre-painted minis asked me to share the recipe of how I painted his purchase. Having shared the recipe with him, I thought it might interest a wider audience. So in this video I will share my painting recipe for speed painting coloured metallics using this gang of striking scorpions. A striking paint job for a striking scorpion. This method is best suited to batch painting models where most, if not all of the model, will be in all the same metallic colour. This group of 15 striking scorpions are a good use case for this method. There is a nice number of models and have top to toe armour that will be in the same uniform colour. The classic colour for striking scorpions is a deep green, but this technique can be used for any colour. Red, blue, yellow, whatever you like. Aspects of the method still are useful for single models or smaller areas of coloured metallic, but I will talk more about that later. For now, let's get cracking. First off, we give all our models an all-over coat of black primer. You could use an aerosol undercoat for this step, but ideally you would use an airbrush and surface primer formulated for an airbrush. I am using Vallejo surface primer. This coat is not just for helping the subsequent layers to adhere to the model, but also to serve as the deepest shadow for the models. For this reason, we want the coat to cover every bit of the model. An airbrush gives us more control, and if we do miss any bits, we can use the same primer on a regular brush to touch up any missing bits. Step 2 is to apply a zenithal highlight using a bright silver colour through the airbrush. Zenith means something like highest point overhead, so a zenithal highlighting is a simulation of overhead lighting. Spraying from above, usually with white paint over a black undercoat, gives a quick but very convincing map of light and shadow. This video is not really about zenithal highlighting technique, so if this is unfamiliar to you, check it out in another video. We are using silver colour instead of white for this zenithal because we want this step to do double duty, both giving us a light map but also giving us a shiny metal undercoat for the next step. This of course is a key pillar of speed painting, to try to do two jobs in one pass. In a similar way to a standard zenithal highlight, I first hit the model from directly above, then give a light pass from the sides at a 45-degree angle from the top, then once again hitting from directly above. This gives us a nice gradient from black through dark silver to bright silver on top. Alternatively, we can skip the 45-degree pass if you want a very stark contrast. Now we have a nice metallic sheen with a gradient of light and shadow. The next step is to make our metal coloured while still keeping the metallic sheen. Once again, we get out our airbrush and use it to do another zenithal highlight, but this time we use a thinned colour of a translucent ink in the colour we require. I am using regular miniature paint, thinned down almost to a glaze because I do not have any acrylic inks in the right colour. Whatever you use, the airbrush will give very fine layers that are quite translucent, allowing the metallic sheen to shine through the colour. A light pass of colour will show a lot of metal but have no colour. Adding more and more layers of colour will increase its saturation but also hide the metal sheen below. There is a sweet spot in between where the colour is quite strong but the metallic sheen still shows through, and this is what we're aiming for, especially on the best lit parts of the model. This step could also be done with a regular brush. Brushed on layers will be thicker than airbrush layers, so your colour should be more of a glaze consistency to allow more of the silver shine through. Using a brush could enable giving the model many different coloured metals, but will be slower than an airbrush. The coloured metal effect is now achieved quick and easy, but the model is not done yet. So step 4 is to paint all of the rest of the model that will not be metallic. Here we will use a regular brush with opaque paint to cover up all the metallic. These scorpions have a lot of armour, but their bodysuit is visible in the gaps, and there are some straps, belts and holsters to paint too. You might also be tempted to do some standard speed painting tricks like washes and dry brushing, but I would caution against doing it over the metallic areas. The more layers, even of a translucent wash, that go over the metallics, the more the sheen will be occluded. If you do use a wash, try to keep it off the metallic parts, or at least keep it only to the crevices rather than the whole surface. I have not used any washes on these scorpions and I don't think they are any the worse for it. These lads are about done now. All they want is a few coats of varnish to protect them on the battlefield, and they will be ready for play. If you would like to buy them or other examples of my work, then check out the link in the description of this video for my eBay store. While you are there, drop a comment to offer your valuable feedback or just say hi. You could also like this video if it was useful for you, and subscribe if you would like to see more of my videos. You may be interested in my Eldor Craftworld playlist. See you here. Bye for now.